إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Indeed, all praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore we praise Him. We seek His assistance and forgiveness from the evil consequences of our actions and our deeds. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one could try to misguide that person. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His infinite wisdom, chooses not to guide, no one could try to guide that person. And I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His slave, servant, and messenger. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Or you who truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you get the title of being a mu'min. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advises you to have taqwa, to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you're at your workplace, amongst your families, when you're behind your computer screen, on your cell phone, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you don't fall into something that might displease Him. As you ought to have this mindset going out and living throughout this world. And do not die, and do not leave this world except submitting to Allah in Islam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Or you truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once again, you're being advised to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have taqwa. Remember Him wherever you go. Enter in your house, you say Bismillah. Before you eat, you say Bismillah. Before you get in your car, you say Bismillah. Constantly remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible. And also, if you're doing that, then guess what? You'll be upright. You'll protect yourself. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even warns us to be careful what? وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Say truthful words. Watch what you say. Don't insult others. Don't backbite. Don't gossip. Don't talk about other people's families where you don't have no business talking about them. Watch what you say. And if you do so, Allah will facilitate your actions. Me and you and everyone in this room has a lot of tasks and goals you want to do in this world. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will facilitate for you in the best way possible. Forgive you for your wrongdoings. And whoever obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has gained great success, a great reward. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Our praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who made it possible to gather today on His beautiful house amongst His houses, to be here to worship Him alone, to worship the one true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to see the beautiful faces around us, alhamdulillah. It's uplifting when you see other believers, right? When you see each other, that should make you smile, like I'm seeing right now, alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful view. To see those who, even with all the chaos in the world, are still coming here and worshiping Allah as He ought to be worshipped. And that should be acknowledged, and that should be celebrated. At the same time, remember our brothers and sisters in other places, in other lands, or maybe even in our own community that are suffering, going through hard times, going through oppression, war, and other things. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give victory over their oppressors and protect them. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. As we go on into our world, as we keep on living our life, one thing that shaitan always tries to do is tries to pull us out and try to make us fall in any way possible. And one thing is that the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, He created us with certain desires. That's just naturally inside of us. For example, food. Everyone here loves food, right? We have a desire to eat. And not just eat, but eat of the best of meals. Sometimes eat a little bit too much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates inside of us the desire for wealth and property. To own this property, to get this much funds, to get this much money, to get this much land. That's something that's naturally inside of us. Another thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put naturally inside of us is the desire to be attracted to the opposite gender. That is something that's natural. For a man to like a woman and for a woman to like a man. Right? But through all these desires, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though it's natural inside of us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us guidelines on how to corner them and how to direct them and channel them in the proper way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, don't eat this type of food and don't eat too much and don't waste. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, yes, you get wealth, but don't be wasteful, don't be extravagant, and give some to charity. when it comes to the desire of the attraction of the opposite gender, don't you think there are going to be guidelines for that? Of course. And if you've been watching the news, if you've been alive at all for the last couple months, and you watch any type of news or open up any type of website or watch it on TV, you've seen there's a plethora of sexual allegations that have been going on for multiple different people throughout the country, of allegations of some type of harassment that's been going on. We'd be ashamed for us to turn a blind eye what's going on in society and think that won't happen to us. That'll be foolish. But for whether that person's a CEO or an actor or a senator or a congressman or even the president himself, there's accusations going left and right. Colleges, coaches are going to get accused. Sports doctors are being accused, right? This person, that person, here and there, it's all over now. Of course, there's a famous campaign going over called Me Too, where women are finally coming out to speak up against harassment they've been feeling, or they've been experienced, I should say, throughout years or etc. And now that they finally got their encouragement, which is quite sad, that they've been suppressed for multiple reasons. It's hard to go over all that in one khutbah. And now they'll be able to speak up. And like I mentioned, there's a desire for us to like the opposite gender, for men to like women and for women to like men. But these things happen in society because people don't know how to deal with that type of desire. And guess what? There's a bunch of men in front of me and there's a bunch of women upstairs. Do you think you don't have the same desire? Of course. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about it in the Quran, guess what? We need to speak about it also. Just to remind ourselves. Just to save us from what's the chaos and what's going out there that we're seeing in the media. And it's tearing out people's lives. People have to leave their company as being CEO. People have to leave their station within or their position in government because of these allegations, right? And people getting lawsuits here and there. We wouldn't want that to affect our community any which way or form. But this is something that we have to make sure that we protect ourselves. And one thing about this deen, this religion that we have, Islam, is so beautiful. It has so many aspects of how to control ourselves. We have answers. We just need to be reminded of it. As the U.S. government, they have an organization that conducts a survey of any accusation, of workplace accusation, of sexual harassment that goes on by whatever's filed. They document all of them. And they themselves have said that there's many accusations out there, but not everyone is speaking out for multiple things. People fear losing their job. People fear retaliation. People fear a lot of things, a lot of what women have to go through. And they say they estimate that 1 out of every 4 women experience some type of sexual harassment in their workplace. 1 out of every 4 women. It's 25%, but that's a lot. A lot of the men here in the crowd, you have wives, you have daughters that might be experienced that, whether at school, whether they go up and they're working in their whatever company they might be working on. To be careful about that. And of course, we want to protect them as much as possible. So it behooves us to speak about this and see what is the guidelines, what is the divine means of protection that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to help us keep away from these things. And one thing, brothers and sisters, what we have to understand, we're from a religion that has a lot of caution built into it. There's certain things that are prohibited. For example, alcohol, premarital relations, which person you're not married to, etc. But none of those things are prohibited, but the means to those things are also prohibited. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran mentions, La taqrabu zina. Don't come close to adultery. Allah didn't say don't practice adultery. We already know that's forbidden. But don't even come close to it. Don't even let that thought come in your head. Don't go walk over to her and just talk to her. Or for the woman, don't go over to him and talk to her. Talk to him. And these thoughts might build up in your head and one thing might lead to the other. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't even come close to it. And this is our deen, brothers and sisters. Sometimes even as Muslims, we don't understand. Why do the women have to cover up the way they are? Why do the men have to be in this room and the women in another room for? Why sometimes the segregation happens for? There's wisdom behind it. Whether sometimes we realize it or not. And especially what we're seeing now in the media now and all these accusations, it comes a little clear why we have certain these type of principles now. It kind of makes a little bit more sense now that alhamdulillah we have this built into our deen. And talking about these different temptations that happen, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a very beautiful story in the Quran, about a very beautiful person in the Quran, and how he had to deal with that. And that is no other person than Yusuf alayhi salam. You know, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam went through a lot of trials in his life. One of the main tests that he had, as he was, to make a long story short, as he was put into the palace of the king of Egypt at his time. And they brought him in and he grew up there. And the wife of the king, she got attached to him. She used to take care of him. But it's mentioned in the different narrations that he was very beautiful. Yusuf alayhi salam. Had very good looking. And so this woman was very attracted to him as being the what? The wife of the king. She has a lot of prestige. She has a lot of rights. She has a lot of rank. She has a lot of authority, if you will. She could do certain things and probably get away with it because she's the wife of the king. And so what happened, she waited for Yusuf alayhi salam for him to be in a room. Could have been others around. The situation, the way the ayat and where the verse of the Quran depicts it, not 100% clear, but mentions that she would try to pursue after him because she was so attracted to him. And said that she locked the doors and ran after him. What did Yusuf alayhi salam? Yusuf alayhi salam has the wife of the king. If you think about the wife of the king, she must be somewhat beautiful. She must have the best jewelry, the best of clothes on. She probably adorned very, very well, super attractive. But what does Yusuf alayhi salam, of course of being a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does he say? He said, Ma'adallah, I seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this instant. And he runs away from that situation as he tries to run to the door. And we know that at the door was the king himself and caught them. And Yusuf said, there was her that was trying to chase after me. Later on we see that also that she tries to call him again. And he says something very, very beautiful in this. He says something very beautiful. He says, قَالَ رَبِّ السِّجْنُ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِمَّا تَدْعُونَنِي إِلَيْهِ. When the wife again came up to Yusuf alayhi salam and said, come, I want you. I'm attracted to you. Yusuf alayhi salam says, or she says that if you don't come to me, I'm going to throw you into prison. What does he say? How does he respond back to her? He says, what? Throwing me in prison is more beloved to me than what you're calling me for. And of course, what? He got thrown into prison. But shows that look at his iman. Look, he's able to turn away some women that are so beautiful and not have that type of desire. Brothers and sisters, you know, we all this type of things come up all the time. You know, sometimes, yeah, alhamdulillah, we have our deen and we have our guidelines. A lot of us work in a working place where there's other women there, isn't it? Usually there's a secretary there. Maybe your supervisor, maybe your manager, maybe someone working on the same project as you, maybe a woman, or for a woman, maybe it's a guy. And know what happens when you work with people over and over? You might not have any feelings for that person the first day, or the first week, or the first month. But if you work with that person over several months or years, guess what? There's attachment that happens, isn't it? Naturally. Before you're very formal, but usually what happens, you let down your guard, and the conversation gets a little light. You start joking with her, she starts joking with you, etc., etc. And we have this beautiful principle that the Prophet ﷺ gave us to protect us in these situations where he says it is not allowed that if when a woman and a man is alone in a room together, the third person is what? Who? The shaitan. When a man and a woman is in a room together, the third person is the shaitan. And what do you think the shaitan is talking about? What do you think he's whispering? Oh, look at her, look at you, look at him. He might like you. I think he likes you. And whispering goes on and one thing leads to the other. So we have a principle that we have in Islam, this concept called Khutbah, is not to be alone with a woman by herself, or for a woman not to be alone with a man by herself in a room. To protect yourself. Now when I tell you all these things that are happening in the media, when this CEO and this senator and this congressman and this medical doctor are being accused, you think they did those acts in the public? You think they did it in front of everybody? Or do you think they were alone in a room when no one else was there? Of course. They're alone in the room when no one else was there. And the shaitan did exactly what this hadith was talking about. One thing led to another, and now their whole life is in trouble now. They lost their position. Who knows what their wife and their kids think about them now? Or their husband and their kids thinking about her now, right? Destroys families, if you will. And we have these things, brothers and sisters, for us to be careful of. And like, doesn't matter what position or where you work or if you stay at home or not, whether you go, you know what, I'm just going to go to the mall and buy a pair of pants. I have a very clear intention, very pure. When you go there, guess what? You might see something that might attract you. When you're at work, you might see something that might attract you. Even at the grocery store, wherever the case may be, these attractions are out there. For us to make sure we understand these principles here, how do we protect ourselves from these temptations, like I mentioned, are naturally within us, that we don't fall into any of these traps here. And this is something that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned this. And also something just to think about also, about one of the things of a hadith that we have of the Prophet ﷺ, when he talks about on the day of, before the day of judgment starts, when everyone is resurrected out of their grave, and they're coming out, and madness is happening, and the sun is mentioned that will be 1 mile over people's head, and people will be running for shade. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned there's 7 people that will be protected on that time from the shade of the arsh, of the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he mentions what one of those people are, a man who is asked by a woman to come to him, and he says, no, I fear Allah, and walks away from him. And that is very, very hard to do. And that's why he gets that position, that's why he gets that reward on the day of judgment. And the scholars said, why? Because they have a burning desire to be with her, because she's so beautiful, or he's so beautiful, and I'm so attracted to him, or I'm so attracted to her. And they give up that burning desire on them, so on the day when the day of judgment starts, that they'll get that shade and that cooling because of the heat they felt in this world. And there's something just to remind ourselves. And the one thing I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, and sometimes when I give this lecture or talk about this topic, people say, you know, I really think you should talk about the youth about this. This is a very youth topic. You know, they really need to know. They got boyfriends, they got girlfriends, you know, they're at high school together. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters, and all the adults in the crowd here. All those accusations you're seeing in the media, how old are those people? Are they in their 30s? Are they in their 40s? Are they in their 50s? Are they even in their 60s? Yeah, those are not kids. Those are not high schoolers. They're not college-age kids. Those are grown adults that have issues still, that haven't been able to tame themselves and control themselves in these situations. It's not a youth topic. It affects grown adults every single day. And it happens over and over again. So to be aware of these type of topics, inshallah ta'ala, to protect us from these things, from these actions and these type of feelings, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us, forgive us. أقول قولي هذا أستغفركم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Now, one thing we have to also understand, how did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how did he deal with this? You have to understand, he had Sahaba, he had great people around him. But there were men also, and there were women also, and they had those type of desires. So how did the Prophet even deal with that, even though they're so great, and that doesn't take away from their greatness? But how did he deal with it? You know, there's a very interesting, a very unique story that's mentioned in Jami' al-Tirmidhi and other compilers of hadith, that there was a very beautiful lady, and she used to come to the masjid to pray during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Right? They said she was very attractive, very beautiful. And it's mentioned that some of the Sahaba knew of her, that she used to come. So what they would do purposely, they would try to pray in the front so they don't think about it, they don't see her, and they're well, you know, focused on praying and focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the hadith also mentions there were some other individuals, maybe their iman is not very weak. It's mentioned in some of the commentary that they were the munafiqun, they were the hypocrites amongst the Prophet ﷺ, and they will pray in the back lines. Purposely for what? To try to be close and see that woman. And it's a little comical, but it's mentioned that when they would make ruku', when they'll make bowing, they will look under their arms and try to take a glimpse at her. I know it sounds like a 4-year-old kid, but it's not a 4-year-old kid. That when they make ruku', they'll try to look down and they'll try to take a little glimpse of her because they're so attracted to her. And of course, where's the Prophet ﷺ? He's up here in the front. He doesn't know what's going on back there. Unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or someone tells him about that, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals an ayah about that whole situation. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Surah Hijr, chapter number 15 in the Quran, where He says, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَقْدِمِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَأْخِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we know of those who come forward, and we know the ones that want to stay in the back. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we know the intentions of the ones that are in the front lines, and we know the intentions of the ones that are in the back. Right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pinpoints what their intention and what they're trying to do. Now let me ask you this, what did the Prophet ﷺ do after that? Did he go up to that sister and say, hey sister, may Allah bless you with beauty, very good, can you stay home and pray? I'll be better for you. Or sister, can you put a niqab on and cover your face? Or brothers, you know what, you don't come to the masjid anymore? Or what, did he build a wall? Or did he put a curtain up, if you will? The Prophet ﷺ didn't do any of those things. Even though sometimes curtains and walls, there might be a reason for that. Of course, that's up to those who are in charge of that community to knows their community really well and what's best for them. But here the Prophet ﷺ did not do any of those things. Why? Because he's dealing with the people, dealing with their intentions, dealing with their feelings, and train them to be civilized, mannered individuals. And sometimes it's not just about covering everyone up and building walls and putting ourselves in boxes, but sometimes just training your son, your daughter, yourself, is how do you deal with the opposite gender in a respectful way? How do you look at them? How do you see them? How do you view them? That is a whole bigger topic we won't be able to cover today. And that's one thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Nur. He gives us some guidelines, where He said, قُلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفِظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Nur, chapter number 24, tell the believing men to lower their gaze. Stop staring. Watch out what they're looking at. As the youth will say, don't check her out, right? Watch your eyes. And then the verse after that talks about the women also. Tell them to lower their gaze and cover up their beauty. And it tells the men to protect their private parts. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't put the blame on one gender or the next. Oh, it's only the woman's fault. No. It's only the men's. They're the animals. We have to control them. They can't control themselves. No. Allah gives guidelines to both sides and tell them how to deal in a proper way. This is what we have to learn, brothers and sisters. And a lot of us that might work in workplaces, like I mentioned, might have female co-workers, or for the sisters, might have male co-workers. How do you interact with it? For you to review this type of relations. And if you would have your spouse there at work with you, would you want her or you want him to see you how you interact with that person? Would you want them there? Would you be embarrassed? How would you feel? Those are the real questions that we need to ask each other. To save ourselves, what's this epidemic that's going on in society of these accusations going on, and they're quite serious. We never want them to happen to anyone in the Muslim community, and definitely anyone here to protect, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely to protect us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Before we end the khutbah and go into our dua, there's certain individuals that are sick and those who have passed away in the community, I just want to mention their name. So inshallah you can include it in your intention when we're making our final dua. There's individuals, Suleiman Mansour, who is sick, Brother Javed Siddiqui, Brother Muhammad Yunus, Brother Kamal, Brother Muhammad Faruqi, Brother Sister Shannon, Sister Najma Hussein, Brother Mahmoud Khan, Sister Nagma, Sister Ihtisham Nizami. These are all individuals who are ailing. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them shifa. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And there's individuals who are passed away. Brother Ahsan Haq, Brother Mazhar Khan, Sister Nafisa Khatoon, and others individuals. And of course, everyone here and anyone who has their parents or relatives that passed away, you are equally, even though their names are not on this paper, we definitely want to make sure that we cover all of them. May Allah grant them Jannah al-Firdaus, or give them anyone who is sick, to give them shifa. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Rahman Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to protect us from our eyes, on our ears, on our private parts, from those actions that are displeasing to you, Ya Kareem Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save us from these type of accusations that are going on, Ya Kareem Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to forgive us for our wrongdoings. Bless this community, Ya Rabb, increase us iman and taqwa, Ya Kareem Ya Rabbil Alameen. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا للقوم الكافرين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم أموات إنك سميع مجيب الدعوات يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اشفي مرضانا اللهم اشفي مرضانا يا شافي لا شفاء إلا أنت. اللهم ارحم موتانا يا كريم أدخلهم جنة يا كريم يا غفور رحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Make your lines straight, inshallah. Make lines towards the middle. Don't leave any gaps. Pray as if it was your last prayer. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي العظيم سمع الله لمن حمده ربنا لك حمدا كثيرا طيبا بارك فيه. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي. سمع الله لمن حمده ربنا لك حمدا كثيرا طيبا بارك فيه. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. أتيات لله والصلوات والطيبات والسلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد بارك على سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. There's a note here to please pray for Shabiha Begum. She is going through a surgery. Please pray for Uzma Aisha, who is very, very sick. She's in Bangladesh. Please make dua for Ruki Begum. She's having dialysis. Please include that in your du'as, inshallah ta'ala. اللهم اشفيهم يا كريم يا رب العالمين يا شافي لا شفاء الا انت يا كريم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشفيهم يا رحمن الرحيم. اللهم اشفيهم شفاء كاملا يا شافي لا شفاء الا انت. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. The announcements.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We encourage you to sign up for the automatic funds transfer. This will help your masjid plan its budget. Stop by the main office if you need help with filling your tax returns. We have professionals available that would like to help. Charges start from $50. All proceeds will benefit ISOC. Tonight is MYG's A Helping Hand event. Youth are highly encouraged to meet in the MYG room immediately after Isha to help pack hygiene bags for the homeless. Also, after Isha, Sheikh Yusuf Est will be speaking on more aspects of the seerah. Plan to be here by 7:30 p.m. Heart, Mind, and Soul Society. Seniors at ISOC will be holding a special talk on Sunday morning, February 11th. How to take care of our eyes and how to recognize common symptoms and conditions related to the eye and vision. A very important topic. All are welcome. The talk is from 10:30 a.m. through 11:30 a.m. HMS seniors are planning a whale watching trip on March 4th. This trip is open to all. Few remaining tickets can be purchased from the booth outside or the ISOC main office. Fiqh of class with Sheikh Shahid Ali is now in session. The class is held every Sunday from 10:30 a.m. through 11:30 a.m. Save the date for a fundraiser on Saturday, March 10th at the Marriott Suites. Proceeds will benefit the Rohingya refugees. If you have double parked, please remove your vehicle immediately.